Hello, and welcome to my week in review and mail haul. This is Captain Stitches. Thank you for joining me this evening, and happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers. I hope you have had a great day and will continue to have a great evening celebrating because you deserve it. But let's get right into my week in review. And I'm kind of zoomed in, as you can see, because the first thing that we will discuss is brain fog that is hanging on the design wall behind me. As you may recall, we did work on that some together on Wednesday during my tip demo Wednesday, and I have gotten a few more things done on that since then. So I'm just going to adjust my view here a little bit before I get up out of the chair. I'm going to have to, whoops, we're going to have to raise it instead of lower it here. So we will do that. But hello, Libby and Debbie. Let me stand up and we are going to talk about what I have gotten done on brain fog. I guess I need to adjust that just a little bit more. There we go. We'll get down to the other parts of that in a little bit. But there has been quite a bit more that I have added to brain fog since we were working on it on Wednesday. And if you remember, my head is, oops, it's right down below here, which is going to be the collage. But we have all of these items exploding out of the brain overload, shall we say. And some of the things that a lot of the hexagons and these um, little miniature not flying geese, but arcs were on there. I'm trying to find the other one. There it is. These are just paper right now because I didn't get the other three made. So I just made those out of paper so that I would have them for placement. But I got all of the triangles done. Those are added on there. And then in addition, I talked about adding some other elements to that. Let me see who else is popping in. Hello, Joe. Welcome to you. And Liz, hello. Welcome to you. Yeah, a lot more has been added to brain fog. So some of the things I wanted to point out is, let me see. Well, of course, we have a pink squirrel right here. And if I move out of the way, up here we have another pink squirrel. And so we had to have pink squirrels on the quilt, of course. And then right below this pink squirrel, we actually have a thimble. That's a little hard to see, I know that. But let me see, we have spools of thread that are exploding out of it. We have an iron over here. This is a stack of folded fabrics. And then we have a seam ripper up here. There is another spool of thread over here. We have another thimble that's up here. There's also another seam ripper right here. And let me see, yeah, a spool of thread up there. So yeah, a lot of things that I added. Why was I thinking there was something else I'm missing? But I'm not. Those items were all added. And then of course I got the triangles done and I had a few more of the hexes. So those have also been added on there. And if we go down, I'll just go ahead and cut off my head here just a minute. If I get the right button to go down instead, and it's not going, it doesn't want to. Okay, there we go. But so right here is where everything kind of starts and it goes off shoo, like that and up and whatever. But we do have whip down here. And as in the comments, somebody said he needs to have a piece of fabric. So we have added a piece of fabric that his paw is holding on to that he stole from the floor or wherever I may have dropped it or wherever he got into. And then I do not have stitches complete yet, but she will be going over in this white area down here because of course she is black and she will show up well on that area. So that is the plan for that. But now let me try and, oops, I keep going the wrong way because it's the opposite. Okay, going to get me in there and I think we're going to zoom out one or two. Okay, so we can do the rest. But that is so interesting. Thank you very much, Libby. Yes, it's been fun working on. But now I need to get to the rest, and Whip is laying right in the middle of the floor here, and he doesn't seem to want to move. So, but I do have the stuff for stitches right here ready to be made, and the stuff to do the other three arcs that I will be adding on there as well. Just didn't get around to those. So as I step over Whip here, let me go to the other side of the room. You're gonna have to move a little bit, buddy, so I can show you what else I have worked on this week. I did get more of the embroidery done on Love Shared, which scoot that up there a little bit. I worked on the yellow, oopsie. Let's just fold it in half a minute here. I worked on the yellow flowers here, got those done. I got the little blue flowers done here, and they have a bead for their middle on there. I got this white daisy style flower done with all the stitching on that, and then worked on more of the saying on the top. So there's still quite a bit to get done on there, but I got more of that done. Hello, Carol. Welcome to you. Thank you for joining us. Um, so that is one of the other things that I worked on. And there are some of us that are working on this woven wreaths of Kathy Schmidt's together. We usually work on that during our Zoom Stitch Day on Thursdays, but I think I have, yes, so January, February, March, April, May. Yep, have the top 5 done there, which we are only to the yeah, it's January, February, March, April, May. The top 5 there. And we will be starting on, should be starting on the 6th one. But I have a little bit more on the flowers underneath that Easter bunny to do, and I have some of the flowers that are coming out of this cup yet to do. And I will be caught up in that. And my thread is caught around there. So, but yes, that is also been worked on this week. And then, of course, and I was amazed at the interest in this embroidery slow stitching journal. Thank you, everyone that has decided to join in on that. It makes it very, very exciting and fun to do. But I have all of my pages labeled like I suggested that you do, and they're all clipped together. And I have been working on the grid. So I have that grid done, and I don't remember where the other one is offhand. There it is. And I have part of that one done, but that won't take long. I will have that done before I do the next video on that. And then this, of course, is the other one, because just in case you didn't know, oops, I should back up a little bit. Just in case you didn't know, because I am teaching and doing this, I have to do 2 of them because I have to have one that shows already the finished step of what we are doing, and then one to be able to show you the step as we are doing it. So that I have 2 of them that I actually have to do. I don't know if this goes up anymore or not. We'll see. That helped a little bit, but not much. Okay, so now that is everything that I worked on, other than I did find some containers that fit the one cubbies that I have, and I reorganized my slow stitching area supplies, and then a couple of the shelves that I'm using for storing all my fabrics for fabric collage. I was able to also organize, declutter, and get those all situated. Thank you, Joe. She says, beautiful work. So as some of you may recall, in one of my previous mail hauls, I showed that I had gotten this pattern and was thinking that that was just embroidery that was on the center of that, and it is a panel, which is not included in the pattern and is kind of sold out most places and not readily available. But through the help of another individual that also was interested in that pattern when she saw mine, we did a search and we were able to find it on another website, which is Quilt Doodle Designs, and that is in the description box below. But to get that panel, I actually ended up purchasing a kit, which is for a different pattern, not the exact, but it will work. And I was able to go on there and order more of these fabrics also. So I will be able to do the snowball pattern that I want with that. But this is the panel and all of the fabrics to go with that. Let's take this out and see what it actually looks like a little better. I think you can see it. Oh, looky there, a snowman with a camper. Right up, no long wonder I liked that. And then I can't see upside down. Fishing. And let me see what we have up here on this other end. Flip it over. We have them with a truck. Oh, and the dog running after. They were just getting their Christmas tree. And there we have the two snowmen outside by the Christmas tree. And I think we missed something. There's a whole nother end to it. What is this middle? Excuse me. This is a big panel. They are roasting marshmallows there in the middle. This is going to be a very pretty quilt. And then down at the bottom is the camper and the fishing. Okay, that's everything. But that's going to be an interesting, which that all is going to be embroidered. It's just, I thought it was just a pattern that you had to trace, and it's not. It needed the panel. So that will be fun to do. That back over here out of the way. And then when I was at Sharing Stitches last week, and had them cut the 1/8 yard cuts that I got then, they had another collection of fabric that they had in, but was not on the shelves yet, and they weren't putting it up yet. So I requested that they cut 1/8 of a yard of each one of those when they had time and we're getting ready to put it up, and just call me and let me know, and I would come and pick it up. So this is that beautiful collection. I'm going to try and unroll so we can. That's not gonna work, but it's all of these beautiful, beautiful fabrics. We'll just flip through some of those so you can get an idea on them. Ooh, beautiful, beautiful stripes in that one. Very interesting. But these are ones that I have in mind for being able to work with collage quilts. So yes, righty. And then we'll go from this way. But they are very beautiful, beautiful fabrics. I think there's 21 of them total in the collection. So, and I think that's getting us pretty close back to where we started there. But yeah, beautiful. There we are. Okay, so got all those, and I don't need those rolled back up because I'm going to have to be cutting those and putting them in with the others. And let me see. And since doing Over the River and Through the Woods by Crabapple Hill, and she is retired and has sold out all of her patterns that she had in her website company, and the only place that you can find them is through searches on Etsy and eBay and things like that. So I have been going on Etsy and finding ones that I'm interested in, and I found a few more this week. This is a beautiful sunflower stitch folder, actually. You can see right there that it's made into that, but that is one that I found and got. And then this is a couple project bags and the patterns to do. So that is a beautiful one as well. Love the mix of patterns, says Joe on the previous fabric. That is Wonderlust, in case I didn't say that. And I also love Kathy Schmidt's embroidery. And of course, there's a squirrel, so I had to have that one. So I can stitch the squirrel up. And then this is a beautiful one for fall and Thanksgiving, the Horn of Plenty. And it's called Grateful. So this one is called Little Acorns. But got those, set them over here. And then let me see. These all came off Amazon. Oopsie, I'm gonna drop stuff here if I'm not careful. But I've been looking at this pattern for some time now and came across that when I was looking for something else that was on Amazon. So I did go ahead and purchase it. There you can see the quilt a little bit better, but love it's called Scrap Petal Garden is the name of the pattern. And then I've got, this is color and frame. It is 3 coloring books in one. So it's got the flowers and animals, and I can't remember what the third is. That looks like just graphics of some kind, but got that one to have patterns for doing the new technique that I have become addicted to. And this is 100 flowers. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful things in here. Lots of fun if those of you that just like the adult coloring or using the markers and stuff as well. But I'm trying to find, even have that beautiful, but have that as well. And then this is a vintage nature cut and collage, which thought I could get some ideas. And also it's got all the individual elements to be able to, some of those, there was a skull and a snake and some stuff on there. We won't show those pages, but we've got birds and everything else, but a very useful one there. That was called Vintage Nature. And then back to not regular quilting, but wool and cotton quilts that are applique. I got to this. It's Wild Wool and Colorful Cotton Quilts, and it is by Erica Capro. But love the whimsical style that is in that one. Wow, the scrap petal garden is pretty. Yes, it is. Love, 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 love that pattern. And then I was, yes, speaking of the collage, this is one of the, I'm sure many of you have heard of Laura Heine. She is from Fiberworks, is her company, but I love the vintage campers. And so I got this pattern of hers. Beautiful. And all the collage quilts are done in different techniques. So it's fun seeing the other people's techniques as well. And I got that off Etsy. And she also had a Crabapple Hill pattern that I wanted and ordered. And instead of what I ordered, this is Crabapple Hill. These are 2, but that's not what I ordered and that's not what I wanted. So she substituted these instead of the one I did want without notifying me, without asking, and without letting me know, which I will say, I don't think that's the right thing to do. She should have asked if I wanted a refund or if I would like these instead. And I did not have the choice. She just sent them and no explanation, no note, nothing with that. Don't think that's quite the way to handle that situation. But anyway, The camper is adorable, isn't it though? And through Intrepid Thread that I have my Tilda subscription, they also have a new monthly subscription for one of the other fabric designers that I love, and that is Anna Marie Fabrics. I don't know if any of you have heard of her or not, but she also included the first block of a pattern that Julie at Intrepid Thread is designing herself, and she will be showing us how to do that. Those that are interested on her Facebook group, of course, you have to be a member, have joined the fabric collection club, and these are half yard cuts. So we will go through those and show you all the flying geese on that one. We have a bunch of pinwheels on this one. I just saw the blue truck on Amazon. Yeah, it says not available. They've got it on there, but it's not available. And this is, yeah, 9 patch blocks. I saw that one on there also, but thank you, Debbie. This is hexagons. And we have pinwheels. Boy, we're just going through all the quilt blocks on this fabric. Log cabin blocks. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, I thought that might have been Seven Sisters for a while, but it's not. We have the stars. And then going through another colorway here, we have more of the 9 patch. More of the flying geese. This is a different colorway. Excuse me, sorry. Boy, that's some bright, beautiful colors, isn't it? And more of the log cabin blocks. And we have more hexes. More. Looks like 3 different colorways in each. 3 or 4 different colorways. That is pretty. Well, some of that is blue and some of that's purple. Getting into the darker ones. But beautiful. It'll be interesting to see what pattern she has, whether it's going to be a mystery or whether we're going to be able to see what it is. But those are all of that, and I didn't count. I don't know how many are in there, but those are half yards, and it's approximately each month that she comes out with a new collection. So we'll be getting that. And I forgot to show, of course, when I went to Sharing Stitches, which again, the information for Sharing Stitches, for Quilt Doodle, and for what was the other one? I can't remember right now. There were 3, but all the information for those are in the description box to this video if you are interested and want to find that information. But since I was in Sharing Stitches, of course, I had to look and see if there was anything else that I wanted, because very rarely do I need, once in a while. But when I do that, I usually try and choose a color to pick from to add to my stash. And I did notice that my pink stash was getting a little low. So these 3 fabrics I got, this is grunge, this first one. That isn't showing up very well. It's a lot darker than what it's showing up. Sorry, I can't get the light to hit it right. But that is a pink grunge. This is a pink with the dots on it. And then this was actually, I didn't realize, is in the Wonderlust ones that I got in the 1/8 yard cuts also. But so I got those to add to my pink stash. And then I love I do not like using white. Very rarely will you see me use stark white. So I love Moda's Snow is the name of the color. And I got the rest of the bolt that they had of that. I think it came to like, it was 3.5 yards that was left on the bolt. So I got that because I am always using this in one way or another. But I do believe, ooh, as we sit down and get back down to the correct height here, I do believe just that is everything in my mail haul, and that is everything that I have been working on this past week. But yeah, I'm glad that I was able to zoom in on brain fog for you so you could distinguish and see some of those things a little better. But with it back like that, I think you get the effect on how it's going out that way and up and just kind of like an explosion all of a sudden, like a mind explosion because you had too much information in there. The squirrels were running around, all the chaos and everything, and it just had to let loose and go. So it could be able to create again. And that is how brain fog came about. But we'll be working on that more this week, hopefully getting the other arcs done and getting stitches on there ready so that I can start appliquing those down and also hopefully this coming week start in on the collage, and we'll be sharing that process with you as well. I haven't totally decided which out of 3 different techniques that I'm going to use for the collage, so we will wait and see which one I choose. But that is everything. For those of you that are joining in on the embroidery slow stitching journal, the plans right now are to have a video for that every Tuesday afternoon. I believe it was I'm going to say I believe it was 5 o'clock. I'm not sure, but it will be the same time. And I also did not schedule a Zoom this past week, but I will be scheduling at least one Zoom meeting per week. So those of you that may have questions or answers or just want to get together and work a little bit on that, that will be scheduled as well. And Liz says she's working on the grid lines for the slow stitch journal while I'm watching. Awesome. Great time to just, yeah, have it and pick it up at any time, which I saw on your video that you had been working on that and had gotten quite far on the grid lines, Liz. So, but, and I'm sorry I didn't see you pop in there, Gladys. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day again to all of you as well. And I hope that you enjoyed the rest of your evening, have had a fun time with family. I did have a son that called, so I was able to talk to him, and that is awesome. And Whip is finally passed out on the floor. So remember, everyone, in the meantime, I can keep you in stitches. Bye-bye, everyone.